Back like we never left BDA, and today we have a special discussion planned. This discussion video is centered around Garp and some of the decisions that he is going to have to make at the Reverie. Now for Garp, Garp is an interesting character just based on who he is and his affiliations. For one, Garp is the grandfather of Monkey D. Luffy, but even more importantly than that, especially in the situation that we're in, he is the father of Monkey D. Dragon, the Revolutionary. I mentioned this in the review, but Garp being at the Reverie is not something I saw coming, but you could have maybe hinted towards it or saw it coming with the fact that Kobe was an escort, Kobe and Helmeppo, and those are two people that he was supposedly training. So what would Garp be doing? Of course, probably attending the Reverie, but regardless, Garp is going to be at the Reverie, and this presents some very interesting factors to take place. Before I get into the meat of the video, I just want to let you guys know, if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and also like this video for more content like this, and this definitely helps the channel. But without further ado, let's get into this video. So like I was saying, Garp, who is the hero of the Marines, whether it's based on fact or fake news, so Garp as a person is a pretty huge symbol for the Marines. That symbol in a way is tainted just because of the people that came from him and the havoc they have wreaked. In One Piece chapter 905, I thought it was interesting that they gave us a history and backstory of the Goa Kingdom. And they talked about Dragon, Luffy, Sabo, and Garp, even Ace, being from the Goa Kingdom. So Garp, regardless of connections, will forever be connected to people from the Goa Kingdom. And of course, he will forever be connected to Dragon, Luffy, Ace. Think about this for a second. Garp, the hero of the Marines, his son, is the leader of the Revolutionary Army, who from an outside perspective looking in, wants to take down the world government. And his grandson, Monkey D. Luffy, is a pirate who has taken steps to become the Pirate King and currently one of the Yonko, or Goko, whatever you prefer. So Garp and his family are very interesting. And when I say Garp was an interesting person, he is from the family of D. So it's Dragon and Luffy, obviously, and they both have created their own paths. Luffy a pirate, while Dragon is a revolutionary. And Garp, while he is a D, he is a Marine. Now, there are not that many Ds in the Marines. The only other I can think of right now is Saul, and we saw what happened to him. But Garp, what is the reason for him following the Marines, following the structure of the current world government system? It's obviously flawed. We've seen it time and time again, and Garp knows about it, but what makes him commit? Why is he still there? That's anyone's guess, and if I say anything here, I'd be speculating. So I'd say, that's to be revealed. So like I was saying before, Garp being at the Reverie presents some very interesting situations. One, and I don't think it's as important as my main point, but is the fact that he'll be privy to the Luffy conversation. That has to happen. How comfortable will he be in that conversation? Will he chime in? Will they mention him? Will he be put on Luffy's case to capture Luffy? Because Garp has had multiple opportunities to capture Luffy, but he said it himself, "You're my grandson, so I won't capture you." And this is after Water 7, where Garp told Luffy about Dragon. Told everyone about Dragon. So that's one point. The main point I have is, what will Garp do when Dragon shows himself? The easy answer is Garp is a Marine and Dragon is a part of the Revolutionary, so it's obvious what Garp is going to do. Is it though? Is it really? Let's go back to Ace and Ace's death. Of course, I, for one, sometimes I blame Garp for Ace dying, but I know it's not Garp's fault for Ace dying. Garp told him, this is your decision. This is a result of your decision. And he did whatever he could in the realm of not losing his rank and status and everything he worked his life for. But he was conflicted. Ace was his adopted grandson. He was conflicted. So let's take this to Dragon, and let even Luffy, you can throw Luffy in there. That's blood. That runs a bit deeper. So once Dragon makes his move, as we know he will, and I think this was highlighted in One Piece chapter 905 as well, when they made reference to the wind. For Dragon, that has been the speculation for a long time that he has wind powers. What also further proves my point is that right after the mention of the wind, we have more information on the revolutionaries. I think that was obviously Dragon. So to reiterate, the easy answer is that Garp is going to do his duty and he's going to try to capture Dragon. That's something I would have agreed with before this chapter. Something in this chapter made me think about something. Of course, it's tough to say without the official translations, but based on the Jam in This Box translation, Garp's interaction with Stelly was very telling. First off, what Stelly whispered to Garp about becoming a celestial dragon. Garp responds, "So you want to be a scumbag?" Says, "Forget about it. I shouldn't have said that." And of course, that is Garp's thing. He said the same thing after talking about Dragon in Water 7. So what does this mean? Garp thinks the celestial dragons are trash as well. The same with Dragon. In a certain way, Garp understands what Dragon is doing. So while he may not agree with the Dragon's methods, he understands why he's doing it. And of course, this could run deeper. It could have something to do with Dragon's lover or something with Luffy's mom. We don't know. But as of right now, the surface issue they somewhat agree with. What was also more telling is the dialogue of the revolutionaries. One of my questions before were, what will the revolutionaries do once they attain power with someone like Luffy? If Dragon is in charge, if Sabo is in charge, and they assume power and they're integrated into the world government, will they try to capture Luffy? Of course, that's a deeper question and requires deeper thinking as far as the inner workings of the actual system of the world government. So we'll talk about that another time, but for right now, let's park it. The revolutionaries are talking about the reason why they were there. And Betty was talking to Koala about, is this complicated because the Ryuga Kingdom and the Fishmen, they're participating in the Reverie. Koala said something that was very illuminating, which I've heard before and we've talked about before, but seeing it being said clarifies things greatly. So like I said, Betty talked about the Ryuga Kingdom being a part of the Reverie, and does that make it complicated for Koala? Koala then says, no, Betty, we don't want to topple the world government itself, but rather the celestial dragons that control them. Koala is saying that the world government is fine. We understand why that has to be there. We understand that you need rules. We're not trying to create a world without rules. We don't want to assume control. We really just want to get rid of celestial dragons that are controlling them, because the celestial dragons, they don't care about anyone. They have slaves. They do whatever they want. And the world government, they have to appease them. That leads to bad politics. And Dragon understands that. What's interesting is that Koala understands this more than Betty, which I'm assuming Betty's a bit older and has been a part of the Revolutionary Army longer, but that's my headcanon. So with all this information, all this that was said, what does this mean? So for one, Garp and Dragon, they agree on the surface level as far as the celestial dragons and the fact that they're scumbags. They agree there. Secondly, Dragon does not want to tear down the world government. He wants to get rid of the celestial dragons. Honestly, I'm sure some Marines that are currently a part of the world government would agree. I'm pretty sure Akainu feels the same way. But he has a duty. I'm sure if you put Fujitora under a lie detector test, he would agree. Green Bull, we don't know enough about his character to say that. So Garp, his decision. Dragon shows up and Dragon makes a declaration. What does Garp do? He's conflicted. Say Dragon is actually there and Garp has the opportunity to capture a dragon. What would Garp do? I think Garp would actually let him go. I think Garp at this point, he's chosen his job over his family enough. Yes, Garp seemed very happy in this chapter, and I even commented that he's very happy knowing the fact that he let Ace die. But I think deep down that still bothers Garp. Of course it does. Ace died on his watch. So for Garp, I think at this point, at Marineford, he chose his job. I think at the Reverie, he makes the decision to choose his family. Garp is technically already retired. He's training people. He's donning the black suit again, so he may have some purpose there. But at this point, I think Garp, in being conflicted about the past, would force him to actually choose his family. Granted, I don't even think he's strong enough to restrain someone like Dragon, but I think that's the choice he would make. Of course, he would try to make it subtle, but if push comes to shove, he's going to choose his son. Again, he may not agree with his methods. He may not agree with what he's doing, but he at least agrees somewhere with him. And that's enough for me to think that Dragon, if he comes face to face with Garp, he would be able to convey exactly how he's feeling and the fact that they both have things to accomplish. So even if Garp lets himself get defeated by Dragon rather easily, that again is making the decision to choose one's family. Dragon is not a bad guy. Based on what we know about the revolutionaries, he's trying to accomplish a good thing. That comes with sacrifices. And Garp, of course, understands that. Duty comes with sacrifices. So for Garp and Dragon, what the conversation will entail once they meet, that's a separate video honestly. But I'm sure Luffy may be mentioned, but duty, more than anything, will definitely be talked about. So guys, let me know what you think. If Garp comes face to face with Dragon, what decision do you think he's making? Based on the information I laid out, based on how the revolutionaries are approaching this situation, what's the right answer here? Let me know your thoughts. And of course, like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you have not for more content like this, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.